Okay. Um, well, I thought I'd get rid of that. Eh, I don't know. That's a little noisy. Okay. Anyway, I thought I'd do an edit here. Um, yeah, this guy, he had. How do I make this damn thing go back? Yeah, this guy, he's doing a portrait here, and I thought I'd do an edit, and I thought I'd record it just for the hell of it, because I'm that full of myself. That's basically why. What the hell did happen to my... Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I'm going to do this in real time. This is not going to be sped up, so it's probably going to take me about an hour. If you can stand to sit through something like that. Um, yeah, so this is his portrait. I guess it's not going off of an actual picture of him. I don't think he posted an actual picture of him. There's no reference. Yeah, yeah, no reference that I can see unless he has something here. Yeah, yeah. Usually they have a about, and then they'll have a picture. Nope, apparently not. Okay, so we've got RSS. What the hell is that? No, that's not it. Okay, so we don't have a picture of this guy. We don't know what he actually looks like, but he says he looks like this. I don't know. Anyway, so this is a pixel, kind of an anime style pixel version of himself. Um, so there's a lot of problems with this here. Number one, number one is that area right here in particular. So messy. If you get in here, I mean, look at this. This is horrible. Nobody can really, when looking at it, nobody can distinguish, um, what is what in here. It's I know, of course, we know from simple logic that this is hair strands, and he's trying to make the little hair strands in here. Um, using still outlining because he's outlining everything. He thinks he has to be consistent. And so he's outlining things even in here where he doesn't have any space to outline. That's a no-no. Should never do that in public. But and also, the other problem is he's got what some people call banding. Is it banding or pillow shading? I think it's pillow shading. It's where you take. Let me get this a little smaller here. I don't know if you can actually see the my cursor here is a small pixel. Sometimes this stupid hypercam thing blows the cursor up a lot larger than it really is on my screen. But anyway, um, you see right here. Can I go in? Yeah, there we go. He takes this line, and then he takes the next shade and puts it in here, and then he takes the next shade and puts it in here, and then so on. And he does that. Um, he does that for the other side too. So it looks like a pillow, kind of the pillow, sort of light shadow you'd see on a pillow. That's why they call it pillow shading, or usually that typical term for it. And it makes for a kind of a chunky, kind of an amateur look. It's not too bad. I mean, this is not the worst example of pillow shading, but it's kind of there, and it makes this whole thing look really gross, really messy, kind of without any kind of refinement. Of course, I mean there are some professionals who do it like this. I mean, but you don't want to do it like that. Even though there are some people, you'll see some pixel art, in older games especially that do it like this. Older American style pixel art will be kind of in this method. You don't want to do this. Um, Also, this is kind of misshapen, this hole. It looks like he got kind of a cowlick coming out here. Like that, a little kind of a bump that goes down here. It should be a lot smoother, a lot cooler looking. Um, so we'll do something with that too. Let's see what else here. Yeah, then he's got this huge dark area. The thing is, you don't want to distract the users or the viewers' attention like this. This in here, it's very distracting. Just the shadow distracts the eye. You want the focal point to be right about there, right kind of in the center. I guess right here because this part's covered up. So with this kind of angle especially, you want the focal point to be right here. And he's got this mess over here, which is just so distracting. It's dark. It's got some kind of complicated detail going on that you can't really make out, so it just distracts you. This part, well, it isn't finished yet, so it isn't too bad yet, technically, but it probably was going to do the same thing. So you have the same thing going on over here, so you distract the user at both sides, and the user is not really focused on where he technically should be with an angle like that. If that makes any sense, which it might not. I'm not a professional. Well, I'm a professional artist technically, but I'm not. I don't usually do this, and so explaining things about art is not my forte, you know. But I am a professional artist, so I can make comments here. It just might not sound, might sound very coherent. Anyway, yeah, there's also some other things here. Uh, Next a bit skinny. Now, some of this is he's trying to go. This is another thing that bothers me. If I might just go on a little tangent here, it's like half anime and half not anime. Now, when I was growing up, anime was like a weird thing that kids, some weird kids were into. I actually had a friend that was into anime, or I guess I don't know. Now they call it manga or whatever. Manga is the comic book. Anime, I guess, is the cartoons. But anyway, I knew a guy from Hong Kong, and he was really into anime. So he drugged me over to his house sometimes to watch some of his movies. So I saw the Guyver and what was it, Akira, and a bunch of other crap. So all those old stuff. I saw that before it became popular. But anyway, the style never really caught on with me because I don't know. Anyway, but it's all the rage now, and every kid, especially people who go into pixel art, they're trying to copy um, the style they see in those games, which are all anime nowadays. All the everything that's done in pixel art practically, again, unless it's a mobile phone game. Anything on a console is going to be in an anime looking style now. So, but he's kind of like halfway there and halfway out, and that's really annoying. I tell you, it's nothing against this guy. He's a cool guy, but still, it to see like something it looks like, I don't know how to say it. It looks like kind of Disney, which I hate Disney. I hate that look of Disney nowadays. The old stuff was okay, but nowadays it just looks like it's goofy looking. So anyway, this is kind of goofy. You know who this reminds me of? There was a show called Mighty Max, I think it was. Um, and that's who this reminds me of, is the kid in Mighty Max. Anyway, yeah, it's got kind of I think it's got a style problem. That is, it's kind of schizophrenic as far as what style it's supposed to be in. Again, nothing against the guy that drew this. It's just, my little rambling there. But anyway, the light. There's another thing. It's not enough. Not it's kind of flat. Um, Again, we can fix that part. I would say to make it more interesting, we'd have to have some of the shadows kind of coming down here. And maybe his eye should probably be in a deep shadow. Actually, probably right across here would look cool if there was like a shadow coming right across here. And a little more under the chin. Kind of that would probably be the best thing for this, would be to have heavy shadows, right across here. Kind of a grunge look almost. Fix his hair. Anyway, so let's get started here. First things first. We got to fix the color. He's got really generic, boring colors here. So we're gonna take all the colors here, put them over here, and actually we're going to. I've got two separate layers here, but I'm gonna have to put them together. So he's got brown and brown, darker brown and lighter brown, and brown is pretty boring color. Usually the pros, and when I say the pros, I mean people who are better at color than I am. I'm more of a painter. I'm not really a pixel guy. I've been doing pixel art for a long, long time, probably before most of you were born. But I've never been, there are some people who do that a lot more of it than I do, and are really good at mixing colors. I'm not really that great at mixing colors. I can fake it though. Okay, so that looks like that's it. Oh no, there's one more here. And then there's, what the hell? It's also got something weird going on here with the what's called anti-aliasing. I think it's called that. Yeah, so this, and then the black. It's also got a lot of colors that are so close together, it's hard to distinguish. And the really dark colors, like, what's the difference between this and this? There's no reason to have this and this. They're just so dark and so close together. You might as well just make them one color. Like that. There's no, at least I can't with my eyes and my monitor, what I'm looking at right now. I can't really distinguish between this. Let me make that cursor smaller, if you can see that. Between this and this, there's very, very little difference there. There's no real point in having two different colors, especially if you want to be the most economical with your the number of colors you're using. There's no reason to do that. So anyway, so let's merge down the layers here. Actually, let me stop that. I gotta stop the video and make sure my sound and my what I'm doing is in sync here real quick. Okay, it looks like it is actually perfectly synced, my voice and what I'm doing, so that's a very good thing. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention is the dithering. Oh my god, that's really bad. Not the placement of the picture. The dithering is this right here. You notice that you got one shade of color right here, and you got interspersed the other shades. So it's like one color or the other color, one color, the other color, and makes these like little, almost a kind of a crosshatch little pattern there. That's I call that dithering, where you kind of take one color and dot it into the next. If done right, it can really add to the piece. They used to do that because they only had very few colors to work with, so you used to see that on the older games and stuff. They do that a lot because they only had like, I don't know, 15 colors, and so to make another color, you had to mix two of them together. Oops. And it's not really. It's right nowadays. You don't do that. Of course, pixel art might be dead in a few years, but anyway, nowadays you don't really do that at all. Um, for to get another color, because you have basically as many colors as you want. What you do it for now is mostly to add kind of it does add like a little bit of texture, and it does well, it's hard to explain, but it does add to the piece if you do it right. But this is a bad example of it because the the colors that he's using are so different from each other that they contrast too much. And so what it looks like if you zoom out, it basically just looks like he has a bunch of scratches on his skin or acne or whatever. It's not. He's using colors that are too far apart to do that. He needs some intermediary colors to blend it more, and it just looks kind of bad at this point. So I'm not an expert ditherer. I'm okay. There are some really expert ditherers on, say, pixelation or pixel joint. I'm not one of them, but I do know at least a little bit what I'm talking about here. So, but that's mostly a problem of the colors, not necessarily his dithering. Which, well, actually, the placement of the dither is probably not the best either. But we'll fix that. So, what I was going to do here is I was going to mess a little with the colors. Let's see, let's start with this one. This one, actually the darker color. This is kind of, what the hell is this? Get that out of my face. Son of a bitch. Oh, God. How do I get rid of that shit? I've got this stupid little right thing. I don't know why it comes up. Freaking bastard. That little bastard puts itself in there. I don't want it. I try to get rid of it, and it comes back. Does that drive you nuts? Eh. Eh. I think that's tablet service pen. This little freaking bastard. Let me see if I can. See if I can do this shit. Now, let's see here. Delight now. Pen tablet user. Is that it? WinLog. Well, let's get rid of pen tablet user. Ha! There it goes. You little freaking asshole. That's annoying. Let me see if I can get rid of that. It's somehow it's like keeps coming back too. I've gotten rid of that thing before, and it keeps coming back. Yeah, I think that's it. Tablet service pen. Oh well, who cares? Nah, exit without a restart. All right. Yeah. Anyway, that's annoying. That little thing. Freaking Wacom. There are a lot of things. There's good things to say about the Wacom tablet, and there's a lot of bad things like that. They think you want that, but nobody in his right mind would want that. Okay, let's get in here now and change around. This color, I think I was going to go for something in the neighborhood of I think it more purple. Not really sure. More purple, I think. For now, let's do the more kind of a more purplish. Actually, I can do this with a mouse. Let's go for this one. And what I want to do is I want to go to kind of a greenish or a turquoise. So I want to work my way over to kind of a turquoise. So this might go here. Like I said, I'm not the biggest pro at this particular part. I'm a good painter, but when it comes to individually selecting, colors, I like blending colors, but you can't really do that in pixel art. Something like that. Mm. You want to make these colors pretty close, pretty close. There's no real rhyme or reason to why I'm uh, picking the colors I'm picking here. I just generally, in general, I'd like to get to kind of a bluish. Let's down the saturation there and down the lightness a little bit. I'd like to get to kind of a turquoise here. So that's pretty close. Yeah, that's a little too much. Saturation. Get down the saturation and kind of get it to a gray. There we are. That's pretty. That's okay, I guess. Yeah. Well, the hair's looking better, I think. Now let's try this one here. Let's see here. We're gonna have to probably add a few more colors here. Of course. Oh, okay. This is Oh, we forgot a couple of colors. Silly me. Okay, yeah, we forgot some colors. We forgot. Did we get this one? Nope. That's not that one. Okay. Whoops. I forgot some colors. I thought those were. Wait a minute. What's this one? That one's that one. Okay, and that one's that one. Okay, I forgot this one right here. I forgot this one. No, no, no. Forgot this one. And this one. Yeah. This one and this one. Oh, I gotta make myself a new color thingy. Is there a reason? Is there a reason the color's flashing? Did you see that? Okay, so this is this. Yeah, the color's flashing. I hope that has to do with my recording thing. Yeah, there we go. Anyway. Oops. So I think this is accurate, right? That should be. Oh, no, I missed one again. I missed this one. And did I miss this one? It should be this right here, right? Yep. Okay, that's it. Except of course for the stuff around the eyes, the jacket. That doesn't matter though. We're just working on the hair and the face right now. In fact, that might be all we do. It's going to take us long enough. So, okay, so let's go back. Replace color. Let's try this one. Okay, so I want to work kind of. I'm kind of ignoring the effects here for now because we're going to rearrange the colors a lot, so it's not going to really matter. Let's go for kind of a. Well, it's a little bit purplish, isn't it? Let's go more towards the blue. And let's kind of lighten that up a little bit. There we go. Now I'm probably going to play with these a little bit later. So this is just kind of getting the sort of hue shifts I want. And this one goes into, we're going to go a little bit more towards turquoise. There we go. Undo the saturation, lightness a little bit down. There we go. Place color. And this one's got a ways to go. Here's my turquoise. Actually, I want to get really far down there, so we're going to have to. So I kind of wanted to get to green, actually. And my hue shift is taking a little too long here. I have to go in and that's okay. It's okay. Let's saturate that a little bit more. There we go. Well, yeah, well, that's a little. It's a little better. I don't know. We probably have too many colors here is the problem. Now that I think about it, we should cut out most of these. Tell you what, let's take this one, this one, this one. Actually, not that one, this one. This one, and this one. I forgot. This is probably the best way to edit it. I haven't actually done an edit in a long time. Not this one, but this one. Well, that'll be our black. And then we might have this somewhere. The rest of these, we'll forget about the rest of these. Screw the rest of these. Okay. So, let's make another layer. And boy, I tell you, I really don't have the desk for this. I'm working, like I'm working with my arm up on the desk. It's not below me. It's like I have to reach up. Horrible setup, really. That's why I haven't been doing much art lately. Let's see here. Yikes! Wrong button. Okay, so let's start with the hair. Because that's the first thing that's annoying me the most. So let's just get rid of the hair. It's just horrible. Also, I tell you what, you know, it can really skew is what I wanted to say. It can really skew your impression of the correct proportions and forms if you do something like this. If you work with it just like this, like how he has half of his head chopped off in the picture, but what you want to do is you want to work with it where you draw the full head. So even though you're not going to have the full head in there, you want to at least kind of draw it and work with it that way. That way you aren't totally you don't have your sense of proper form skewed because you can't see half of it. Trust me, when you work with it like that, with half of it chopped off, then you're not going to really correctly, draw the other part of it, because you're going to have kind of a warped sense of shape if that makes any sense to you, which hopefully it does. Like I said, I'm not a professional art instructor. I'm a professional artist, so if that made any sense, good. So what I'm going to do is kind of draw the rest of his head in here so we can actually see what it technically should look like. This is kind of actually, now that I do that, it's kind of, I'm trying to, I haven't, I'm not sure if this is correct here, what he's got here. So I'm going to draw the whole head here so I can actually get a sense of whether or not this is correct, because some of it looks a little off. Okay, so his eyes are about halfway out. It's a little big. It's a little big, I think. That's a little big. That probably is more like it. So let's see if I can kind of outline that so I can get a sense of depth here. This is his front side of his face. It's the front side of his face, which is like that. His eyes are right there. That looks about right. The rest of his head is right about there. That sort of looks right, although that's a weird angle. It's sometimes when you get that angle wrong, it can really fool your eyes here. But let's see. Let's take that away. I think so. Yeah, I think that's okay. But back here, he might have a little bit more fluff than is realistic. He's got a little puffiness on his hair that's probably not quite correct. So let's take some of that away. And yeah, I can live with that for now. That's close enough. That looks about right. This is an actual front of the face is like that. Yeah, okay. Alright, anyway. Alright, I'm done screwing around. It's close enough. So, yeah. I'll leave that because that is not... Alright, so let's go ahead and put the hair in like it probably should be. Probably should be something like this. Of course, there's a part right there. He wants a little kind of a hair in his face like Justin Bieber, I guess. Why you'd want to look like that, I have no idea. But, I'm an old fart. I don't understand things. I don't understand anything nowadays. So, and yeah, let's go with a darker tone right here. Of course, obviously his face is not going to be blue in the end, but right now I'm just doing this as kind of a base here. And there's something wrong with that ear. That ear's sticking out way too much. I'm pretty sure that. Let's fix that ear. Let's just get rid of that ear for now. And probably probably should be something like that is my guess. I haven't seen my ear lately, but it's probably looks something like that from the side. And of course we got that. This is annoying here. Big old turtleneck or sweater or whatever the hell that is. Let's just replace it with kind of a black. That's simplified so we can kind of just get a sense of what we're working with here. Same thing here for as the top of the head. His shoulders are cut off, but it's kind of nice to kind of get a sense of where the shoulders would probably be. He's probably not that buff. I'm that buff, though. My shoulders would be way the hell out here. But probably something like that. Unless he was a real skinny kid, which he probably is. And the neckline would probably be right there to show some cleavage. Like that. And looks like a girl, doesn't it? We'll make him a girl just to... No, I'm just joking. Okay, so fair enough. I gotta stop messing with this here. This part looks really weird. The part in his hair, I mean. It's a really weird place to put a part. See, I'm not working with any reference here, so I don't know exactly what that's supposed to look like in real life. That's, of course, that's where he put the part. It doesn't look right, though. It doesn't look right here, anyway, when you see the rest of his head. Would it be right there? No, I guess it would be one of those things where it's like right there. Wouldn't it? Well, that's kind of weird. It's another thing. I won't argue with his part, though. I assume he can actually do that with his hair. I certainly can't, though. And it should kind of look something like that. The waves on the hair, I think, should look something kind of like that. You know, I should probably get a reference of Justin Bieber to see what he said, because that looks like what he's trying to do here is a Justin Bieber mop. Well, we can do that for now. Just something, and then this side I think is supposed to go like this. I think is the idea. You know, I better flip this and make sure I'm not just totally off on something. Okay, what does that look like? Pretty freaky, pretty freaky. This eye, we're going to simplify this so it doesn't bug me. I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this color, and it's pretty yucky, but we'll just use that. Just simplify this so it isn't bugging the hell out of me. No. What we want is probably want to use this, maybe even this color. There, it tones that down a little bit so it doesn't stare at me and annoy me. Yeah. Okay, and then this, we got this here. This is his nose. You got the shadow under the nose here, something like that, probably. He's got some big lips, my god. Whoops, shit. Okay, I see what happened. He's got kind of a cocky smile, and we'll have to replicate that kind of a cocky smile, like he's a badass Justin Bieber lookalike. Again, this is not. I don't think this is going off reference. This guy never posted the picture, so Hopefully he doesn't actually look like that in real life. It's probably grounds for a beating, I think. But anyway, I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking. What am I doing? I shouldn't be doing this now. Okay, so kind of got the whole idea blocked in there, at least as far as what I'm thinking of doing here. Um, let's see here. Let's try this. Like I said, would probably be a good idea to kind of have this stuff in a shadow, maybe a dark shadow. Like here was his eyebrow right here, and kind of a darker, kind of a shadow right there. Maybe have most of this in a shadow. Actually, we need another color. Um, we need a color in between here and here. So let's do that. Let's go for oh, that's yeah. I'm not really a pro color mixer. I'll tell you that right now. No, it's not even. That's not dark enough. Usually, what I do when I do, paint normally on the computer is I just take two colors. You have the what's it called? Well, whatever. You just put them side by side, just kind of blend them like you would like in real life, and you get all sorts of neat stuff. And you take a little bit here, take a little bit there. But in pixel art, where you're working individual pixels, then it's not quite that easy. You actually have to go into the color palette there and literally pick a color. You can't just blend stuff. So that's unfortunate. One reason I don't. There's something seems to be something wrong with his neck. It's like a little too forward. Is this just me, or is this weird? Seems like it should be back farther. Again, reference would be nice. Reference would be nice. It's not always necessary, of course, but a lot of times you're doing things and you're like, "What the hell?" Yeah, that's right. It should have been a little bit, just a little bit farther back. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah. That was another thing that was bothering me was the neck, and I couldn't tell until I kind of saw it there. All right. All right. So another color right here. Kind of doing this, and then I don't know. I think maybe definitely have like because you need some light reflection here, and I'm guessing the best place would be light coming off kind of above there, maybe something like that, and then have some light kind of reflecting right here, and the rest in kind of shadows. Actually, something like that. There it is again. My colors changed again. I don't know if you saw that, but there's a slight shift in colors when that thing came up right there. My antivirus. Oh, there it goes again. It's annoying. Okay, so that's his chin. I was putting a little shadow there where his chin will be. And all right. Something like that. As far as just the basic lighting goes, I think it's kind of like he's got this hair hanging down here, and you could just kind of see his nose and maybe the bottom of his mouth and the upper portion of his face and his eye. So it's like a really badass kind of a look, I think. If you were going to ask me about it, then of course there's going to be a big shadow down here, accentuated with a little bit something right there, and it's filling out right there. I suppose again, reference would be nice here because but if you wanted to find reference for something like this, I mean for exactly what I'm doing here, it's a tough call, believe me. I've waded through thousands of Google images trying to look for just the right reference for what I wanted to do, and it's quite difficult. Let's get rid of this crap. This isn't bugging me. Okay, so we got kind of a basic light guide kind of fleshed out here. Which I don't want. I kind of got to resist the urge to go mess with it some more here. We don't even have all our colors set up yet. But I'm starting to get some ideas by looking at this here. Let's kind of flip it around here again. Yeah, yeah. I'm starting to get some ideas here. It looks a lot better. In fact, I'm going to take a little break here, and my God, I think I've been going an hour already here on this. This is horrible. But well, anyway, we'll see if somebody actually wants to watch all this. And anyway, so we'll stop it here. Okay, I'm continuing this from a couple days ago, actually. So let me what do we got here? Oh, that's right. Okay, let me put another layer on there, and thing to do, I think, at this point, we kind of got our shadow in here, and I'm kind of wondering whether or not I should leave it like that in terms of the colors, or just change the colors around, make some fleshy tones, or if I should do this. I'm kind of doing this on a hunch. A lot of these things we do on hunches here. Just kind of getting a flesh tone in here. Something more like that. Getting a fleshy tone here, and putting a little something in here. This is 1 pixel wide. No, it isn't. It was 2 pixels wide. That's why. Okay. That is way too light. That's way too light. Something more like that should do it. Let's see. Let's see. This is a bad tone for that spot. I'm gonna take this and I don't know. This might be a little rough. It's too much contrast in between those colors. I don't know if I can pull this off. What the hell? Okay, well, actually, let's do this. Let's go through and let's change these colors. Let's change this to a flesh tone. So let's just do this here. Oh, I see. Forgot about that. Forgot about the layers. Now let's try it. Forgot what the original image looked like. It had some pretty, should have kept the colors from that. That didn't look right. Something a little more saturated. Well, let's try that for starters. Okay, let's take, oh, what the hell? I must have some weird toggle on. Paint bucket is not supposed to do that. What the hell is going on? Contiguous? Oh, that was the problem. Okay, there we go. Hey, I don't remember. Well, that's a nice thing to know. You can change all the colors on a piece by clicking off contiguous. Never even knew that. Yeah, I think I like this idea. Some of it's in the shadow. Well, what about if I did that actually? No, I don't like that as much. Tell you what I could do though. We could go in here and make a transitionary color. Kind of using that and going. See, have to be kind of towards kind of a purple look. Something like that might do it. Actually using the mouse right now. What's that look like? It's not purple enough. Not purple enough. That's a little too hot pinkish. It's almost there. That kind of works, I think. Let's try that. This is his forehead here. The light is kind of shining down here. Actually, I should probably put this highlights on his hair up here a little bit farther to show that. It's basically the idea here. And this is kind of where you use dithering just a little bit. Something like that, I think. Actually, on the human face, the eyebrow, center of the eyebrow kind of sticks out a little like that. So let's try and do that. I think that's right. Of course, on the other hand, should his eyebrow really be right there? Maybe. Okay. I'll deal with that. I can't even remember. Okay, this is his lip. That's what that is. It's his lip. Actually, in that case, let's get a lighter skin tone here. How's that? That's okay. Skin tone highlight. Another thing I'm bad with is skin tones. I don't know if we should really highlight that lower lip like that. That's probably it. Might be a bad idea. Shouldn't highlight that too much. Boy, what a mess. Yeah, it's a little too highlighted. Where did all these colors come from? I don't remember this many colors. Get rid of some of those. Yeah, okay. Let's do something like boy, I should really use some reference for this. I don't want to go digging through the net trying to find reference for these kind of shadows though. I don't know. It's questionable. I think that's questionable. Right there. And let's go ahead and flip that. What's that look like? Yeah, it's kind of what I had in mind. Actually, the shadow on his jaw is way too much. There, God, I need some reference for this. I have no idea what this sort of shadow looks like. I think something like that's a little more reasonable. Maybe a little bit something like that on his cheekbone. I don't know. Um, Damn it. Annoying thing. Just trying to zoom out, damn it. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit more reasonable, I think. Um, I'm kind of trying to flesh out where some key features should be here. I'm trying to kind of find the bridge of his nose here. And it's a trouble with all this wild pixel painting everywhere, I just kind of lose my sense of feature. Let's see, I'm going. Let's try this. Maybe tone this down just a little bit right here. I actually prefer to work with kind of a more of a line art than actual paint blobs everywhere. That's a little bit easier because it's easy to lose your sense of what you're drawing here when you do it like this, which is what kind of happened. Well, now he's got some kind of weird shadow under there. That's not right. God, I need some need some reference. Let's undo this. I don't think his chin should be actually glowing like that, really. Probably something like that. The idea is to have kind of half of his face in a shadow. And let's kind of bridge the gap between these colors here. Let's see what we got here. Got this, 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 this. Okay, this. This is the hair. What's this? This isn't anywhere here. Let's put some of this up here. This, you won't even be able to see this because the picture's cut off right here. But it gives me a guide. Let's get a. I want to get a sense of what we got here. What happens when I cover this up? How does that look? It looks like he's got a face mask on now. That's no good. Okay. Something like that a little bit more. Okay, yeah, I think, yeah, we can work with that. No. All right, well, I'm going to, I think I'm going to go find some reference for this shadow here. All right, well, that's the best I could find, so that'll work. We're not actually doing this for, you know, it's not anything serious. It's just an edit, so that should work enough for me to get at least something looking like it should supposed to look here. Okay. or the semblance of looking correct anyway. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. It just has to look like the general idea has to be right. So we'll go ahead and kind of rearrange these shadows to kind of match our reference here. That's looking a little better already. Yeah, this was wrong. This was really wrong. Should have some kind of highlight right there. There we go. Okay. Boy, I wish I was smart enough to not have to use any kind of reference when doing this sort of thing, but what can I say? I don't know about that one. Yeah, maybe a little bit like that. Something like that. How about this nose? Okay, let's get in here and add a few highlights on the lips. My eyes are really, when you do things like this, your eyes kind of go batty. Yeah. I can live with that. Something still doesn't look right though. The forehead, something's wrong with the forehead here. See if we can, shit. See if we can fix that. Might be a little bit big there as far as that goes. That looks a little better, I think. Although, technically we should have this in here. Yeah, I think that was the problem. That's looking a lot better there. It's probably a little too dark under that eyebrow. So we'll lighten it up just a little bit here. Yeah. That's the right move. That's the right move. And I got some residual, the hell, residual black from the other. Okay, which black is which? Got two blacks there. This is, okay, this is the new black. Okay, so we want to use that. Yeah, some right there. Get rid of that. That way we don't have stray black specks that don't belong here, like here. Here, and we got some stray pixels here too. Okay. See what a pain in the ass this is? It won't matter. Pretty soon, I think pixel art won't be used except in rare instances where somebody wants touch-ups on some kind of picture or something, but commercially it'll probably be extremely in extremely low demand at some point, I think. even handhelds. Right now, it's mostly handhelds that use pixel art, handheld games and applications. But I think eventually that even that is going to go. Handheld devices will eventually be have enough memory to and screen resolution that they won't need pixel art. Um, so let's see here. Maybe something like that. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know what this guy's face really looks like, so I'm just kind of mixing and matching here. Something wrong with that eye, too. What's wrong with that eye? Oh, I see. That's what's pissing me off. It's residual. Kind of residual something. Maybe do that. Is that right? Yeah. Well, it looks like he's kind of squinting now, doesn't it? Oh boy, the slight changes that you do to a picture at this resolution, which can totally change everything. Yeah, I think that might be oversimplified. The question is always how much to try and actually make with detail, and how much to just kind of symbolize. It's a good question. Well, let's clean up the rest of them and then we'll get back to work. There's still some issues there, but let's clean up the rest of them here. Under the chin, let's go ahead and should only be a little bit black. It's not showing his neck there, so I don't exactly know what to do with that. There should probably be like a little, yeah, something like that. I don't think I'm going to take this into the final stage here. We're just going to probably leave it pretty rough here. I think I proved my point. Hopefully. Well, I'd have to show some kind of dithering, huh? Hey. And, okay, let's see here. He won't, when I cut this off, I'm going to truncate this to the dimensions of the original picture, so this part up here won't be seen, so I don't really need to worry too much about that. Could really get clever with this. Okay. Interruptions. Had to go outside. And, yeah, it's, well, I'd like to at least showcase some correct dithering. So I have to at least go that far. Let's see, I was fixing the bottom here. What was he wearing originally? Turtleneck? Something like that? Yeah. Okay, well, let's try to do that here. Let's see. Well, I like the look of the black sweater here. So let's if I was really going to be serious about this, I'd make another color for this, but we're just going to use some of the stuff for his hair. I guess that's what he's got on, kind of like that. Something like that, I think. Yeah, something that's a little something like that. Let's smooth that out a little. Yeah, there we go. And he's got like a, what is it? Like a thing, you know, like an undershirt. Like a white undershirt, but we don't want to use white. That'll really put in too much contrast right there. So let's use something like, actually we might be able to use that. Let's just use that for now. Should really be zoomed in for this. This is kind of delicate work. So we got to extend everything over here. Something like this. I don't know. Like I said, if I was, if this were a major project here, I'd clean a lot of this up. But I think we're just kind of trying to showcase a few things here, and that's about it. Yeah, his neckline's all screwed up. That's all screwed up. Oh well. I kind of showed. It's kind of what that looks like. I think that he's got a coat on, or sweater on, and an undershirt. I think that's what that looks like. Hopefully. Anyway, well, okay, we're gonna chop this part off, so it doesn't really matter. Something like that. Like that. There we go. And this is pretty yucky. So this is where you'd use some careful dithering right here. Careful pixeling, because if you don't do this right, it looks goofy. If you don't get these streaks right, it's really hard to get streaks at that resolution too. See, so you do something kind of like that. Kind of like that. You don't want to do too much of that though. You don't want to cross hatch them like that. You want to keep them kind of separate. What does that look like? You know, kind of. It's a tough angle though. That's a tough angle. That specifically is a tough angle. We got this here. We got this here. We can do something cool with this though. This little thing. Coming in here, we can do something like this. And even something like that. Actually, let's make sure that's outlined so we can see it better. You want to be careful when outlining it too, because you don't want to make something too thick. Outlining will make something thicker, and you don't want to make it too thick, or else it looks didn't look right. Okay, we don't need to do that too much up there because we're going to chop that off. And I'd say that's an improvement. Improvement on the form, of course. Like I said, this is pretty rough still, and I don't think we're going to go. You can spend hours messing with this, trying to clean it up and make it look real good. Trust me, you can spend hours and hours and hours. But this is just an edit. He's supposed to spend hours and hours on this, not me. Just kind of giving him an idea of how I think he could improve. And let's see, we never did clean up the ear. He had a decently shaped ear. It was just kind of at the wrong angle. I'm not going to really go into detail here on the ear. I'm just going to kind of put the shape there. What's that ear look like? Yeah, I don't know, kind of. I kind of can kind of pass for that, I think. We definitely want to get this right, though. This is the sideburn, and you want to get this right. That's about, I think that's where it is. I think that's where it should be. Okay, so we kind of cleaned up we kind of got the, now this is wrong. This is wrong. It's a little too, boy, you just notice these things. Should be like right about there. Once you say, I'm done with this part, then you notice a whole bunch of shit there. Right, well, that's a little better. I can live with that. Let's go ahead and flip this. Okay, well, yeah, you know, you should be like moved over here a little bit. Still something wrong with that eye. I can mess with that eye for hours, I guarantee you. I can and have done that before. Oh, well, we could put it down. Yeah, you could just do subtle little things that could, yeah, see that? See the difference there? It's a huge difference. You could do so many subtle little things with that eye, trying to get that perfect. It's far from perfect, but it's close enough to looking sort of like it should look. So I'm not going to mess with it anymore because I want to do some other stuff here. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of an outline here. You notice I'm dotting. I'm leaving spaces there. I don't want to outline too fully there. You don't want to. Sometimes you just want to kind of use the black to kind of pull in the lines a little bit. Of course, if you outline, I outline. I like outline stuff. Some people don't outline. Some people think it's a mortal sin to outline. I don't. I outline because I like the style of outlined art. So, and I could clean up this. I could clean up I could clean up a lot of this crap, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to try and showcase a little bit of. Why is that there? Shouldn't be there. Well, his smile went away. His smirk went away. I'm not going to try and get it back here. That'd take quite a bit of maneuvering here to try and get that perfect. Yeah, his smile went away big time. I think one of the culprits is this right here. That being like that. be able to do something like that. Kind of fake it. Oh, that's a little bit cartoonish, isn't it? That's when you're not dealing with that many pixels, it's tough to get subtle expressions like a smirk. It's very tough. Actually, that might be close enough. Whatever. Whatever. Not quite perfect, is it? Um, I don't know. God, a lot of things about this are just totally driving me nuts here. Looks a lot better from that side for some reason. Let's go in here and add just a few more things over here. There's actually a lot of stray color here going on. Um, okay, well, now I'd like to do some fine detail in terms of dithering here if I can, just to showcase it. We would be far from done with this image. This is really rough right now, but I don't have. I mean, it's not my image. I don't really want to spend hours and hours on an edit, so we're just going to skip right to some dithering. What you want to do now, like I said, there are a lot of people who are better at this than I am, but what you want to do is you want to take kind of an intermediate color. We could do something like that. I'd prefer to go for blue. The idea is not to get the colors so different. See, that's almost it. That's almost it. It's a little too, maybe a little too saturated. There we go. Yeah, that can work. So you can do that right there. The idea is not to just go full out here and just, dot, 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 dot like a machine. You don't want to do that. You want to do this with some degree of skill. Like for instance, softening up this edge right here. When you move out, actually, that's probably not the right color to do that with. Let me see if I can find another color. I'm getting a little too crazy with this. Let's see, we need in between kind of a skin tone and a purple. So we probably need to go for something in the red area. No, that's not it. That's not it. I have no idea. Somebody else needs to make a video. I have no idea how people do this. So one of the really good ditherers needs to make a video. That ain't it. That ain't it. Needs to be more. God. Let's try that. What's that look like? Oh, it's horrible. that's terrible. Terrible. Yeah, well, let's go back into purple. Nope. It's not light enough. that's kind of getting there. I believe that's kind of there. Sort of. It's a little too saturated. Let's unsaturate that a little bit. Well, I guess. Yeah, that's a little bit too. That's a little too contrasted. Let's go down there a little bit there. Something like that. Something like that. Maybe a little too contrasted, a little too saturated. Let's try that. You don't want to, when you dither, it's really kind of amateurish to kind of do this sort of thing, because you can kind of see that from a distance. You want to mix it up a little bit, make it look a little less artificial. Again, you'd probably look at the masters, not me. I'm not the best ditherer here. Actually, yeah, I need to make some transitionary colors for all this stuff. Really, there's a lot of like this here and this here. This is really rough. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that. Where else would I do that? Okay, well here's the other thing. Something like that. Yeah, we need it. We need another. We actually need another transitionary color over here. Actually, I got rid of that blue, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. Where can we go from here? See if we can go probably right about like that, maybe. What's that look like? It's kind of. That's kind of it. Some people take a gray and use that kind of. You can do that too. It can look pretty good. Shit. Yuck. No good. Well, anyway. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that kind of gives a little something. You have to understand when you're dithering, you're adding not only color, you're also adding texture, and that's the tricky part. Yeah. Well, we need a lot of, like, we have what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Something like 8 colors. We probably need double that. I don't really have the time to go through that though. For instance, we need a transitionary color between here and here, so we need something like yeah, we could probably go. I'd like to go for kind of a green, something like this. Yeah, that would be perfect actually. Just to kind of soften things a little bit. Make it interesting. Actually, I don't know about that one. What about that? That might do it. that's not. That's just amateur. Let's try this one. Something like this. Yeah, see, it kind of softens the edges a little bit, adds a little bit of color. Actually, this might have been too much right here. And yeah, we have to go do that a lot of places. We gotta do this too. Um, yeah, something like that. That turquoise might have been a little too strong. It should probably be less saturated than that. In fact, let me just go change that a little bit here. Replace color. Let's put it, yeah, let's take some of the saturation out of it. That's the problem. Maybe darken it just a shade. Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, that's you could really refine that quite a bit. I don't know. Yeah, I could really mess with this a lot, and it's very tempting to do so. So I could try something like that. But you know what? I think this is about as far as I want to go with this. I don't really want to spend hours and hours and hours. Something like this. This gets the general point across. Let's go ahead and crop this to the original size. Which was this. So that's kind of what we came up with as a rough idea. And this was the old. Well, that's kind of the old, of course. With changed colors is the new. You know what? One more thing. I can't help myself. This is annoying me. Where's the damn thing? Should be a little bit bigger, seems like. Or at least it looks like it in that case. Well, anyway. Didn't he have like something like that? I don't know. Alright, that's good enough. I'll call that a successful edit. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and cut this off. Save it as a PNG here. And alright, and I'll go ahead and upload that. So that's that. Let's see the actual size here. And then probably, what, double size? Let's go ahead and rotate. Okay, so that's that. Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd showcase that in case anyone gave a damn. Of course, I would do. Normally, I would, you know, this is far from finished. This is maybe 50% done. I'd have to go in here and really fix the hair, and do a lot more work on the skin, all that kind of stuff. But I think this gives a good impression of where I would probably go with something like this. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to do this that often here, but it was a fun change. So